The mirror hung in the attic, cloaked in shadow and dust. It had been there for as long as anyone could remember, a silent witness to the passage of time. Its once bright silvering was now a murky, mottled surface, reflecting light dimly and unevenly. The glass seemed to hold onto the memories of all who had gazed into it, their faces now lost in the fog of time. The ornate frame, carved from some dark wood, was chipped and scratched, its intricate details lost to time and neglect. Each nick and scratch told a story, a testament to the countless hands that had touched it, the lives it had been a part of. It stood in the dimly lit attic like a sentinel guarding secrets, its silence more unsettling than any sound. The air around it was thick with the weight of untold stories, a heavy silence that seemed to press down on anyone who dared to enter its domain. Local whispers spoke of its malevolent nature. Tales of misfortune and madness followed in its wake, a dark shadow that seemed to cling to those who owned it. Some claimed it was a relic from a forgotten time, passed down through generations, each haunted by its presence. It was said that the mirror had seen the rise and fall of empires, had been a silent witness to the darkest deeds of humanity. Others believed it to be a conduit to another realm, a dark reflection of our own world where unseen entities lingered. They spoke of shadowy figures that moved just out of sight, of whispers that seemed to come from the very depths of the glass. Whatever its true nature, the mirror exuded an undeniable aura of dread, a palpable sense of something sinister lurking beneath its tarnished surface. It was as if the mirror itself were alive, a malevolent presence that watched and waited. Its presence was unsettling, to say the least. The very air around it seemed to hum with a dark energy, a silent warning to those who dared to come too close. It was as if the mirror itself were watching, its cold, glassy eye fixed on anyone foolish enough to meet its gaze. Those who did often spoke of a feeling of being drawn in, of seeing things that should not be seen. The air around it seemed to grow heavy, charged with an unseen energy that sent shivers down the spine. It was a feeling that was impossible to shake, a sense of being watched, even when alone. To stand before it was to stand on the precipice of the unknown, to feel a primal fear that stirred deep within the soul. It was a fear that spoke of ancient evils, of things best left forgotten. It was a fear that whispered of ancient evils and unspeakable horrors, a fear that beckoned and repelled in equal measure. Those who dared to look into the mirror often found themselves haunted by what they saw, unable to escape the dark reflections that lingered in their minds. Mirrors have long been shrouded in superstition. They are seen as more than mere reflectors of our physical selves. They are windows into the soul, portals to other realms, and in some cases, prisons for malevolent entities. The idea of haunted mirrors, in particular, has captured the imagination for centuries, inspiring countless tales of terror and folklore. Legends speak of mirrors becoming haunted by the spirits of those who have died tragically or violently. Their souls, unable to find peace, become trapped within the glass, forever seeking release. Others believe that mirrors act as gateways to parallel dimensions, reflecting back at us twisted versions of our own reality. There are whispered tales of people gazing into mirrors and seeing not their own reflection, but the faces of strangers, demonic figures, or even glimpses of their own demise. These accounts, passed down through generations, serve as chilling reminders of the potential horrors that lurk just beyond our perception. History is replete with chilling accounts of haunted mirrors. These mirrors, often relics from bygone eras, seem to hold within them the echoes of the past, whispering secrets and horrors to those who dare to gaze into their depths. One such tale dates back to the 1800s, in a grand manor house nestled in the serene yet mysterious English countryside. This manor, with its sprawling gardens and ancient architecture, was home to a family who would soon encounter the inexplicable. The family who resided there reported seeing strange apparitions in a particular antique mirror, a relic from a bygone era. This mirror, with its ornate frame and tarnished glass, seemed to be more than just a decorative piece. The apparitions, they claimed, were not reflections of themselves, but of figures from the past, trapped within the mirror's depths. These ghostly figures appeared to be from different eras, dressed in clothing from centuries long gone. There were whispers of a séance gone wrong, of a portal to the other side ripped open. and of souls pulled through the veil and imprisoned within the mirror's glassy confines. The séance, intended to communicate with the spirits, had instead unleashed a dark force. The family, once skeptical, became consumed by fear as the apparitions grew more frequent and menacing. Their once peaceful home turned into a place of dread, with the mirror at the center of their terror. They abandoned the manor, leaving behind the haunted mirror and its terrifying legacy. The once grand house fell into disrepair, a silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. Another account tells of a young woman who inherited a beautiful antique hand mirror. This mirror, small yet intricately designed, seemed to hold a mysterious allure. She was initially captivated by its elegance, but her fascination soon turned to terror as she began to experience vivid nightmares after gazing into its depths. These nightmares were not ordinary dreams, but vivid, terrifying experiences that left her shaken. In her dreams, she found herself transported to a desolate landscape, pursued by shadowy figures with malevolent intent. These figures, shrouded in darkness, seemed to be reaching out to her, their intentions sinister and their presence overwhelming. The nightmares became so relentless that she sought the help of a paranormal investigator. This investigator, experienced in dealing with the supernatural, approached the case with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. The investigator, upon examining the mirror, discovered that it had once belonged to a powerful sorceress who had used it for dark rituals. These rituals, steeped in ancient magic, had imbued the mirror with a dark energy that lingered long after the sorceress was gone. The mirror, he claimed, had become a conduit for negative energy, and the young woman had become the target of its sinister power. This energy, malevolent and persistent, seemed to feed off her fear, growing stronger with each passing day. In a desperate attempt to rid herself of the mirror's curse, the young woman covered it with a cloth and locked it away, hoping to sever its connection to her. Some say she even buried it deep in the ground to ensure it could no longer harm anyone else. Yet whispers persist that the mirror still exists, hidden away, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to uncover its dark secrets. The forest where it was buried is said to be haunted, with strange occurrences and ghostly sightings reported by those who dare to venture near. These stories, passed down through generations, serve as a chilling reminder of the power that objects from the past can hold. They are a testament to the idea that some things are better left undisturbed, their secrets buried with them. As we close this chapter, remember to be cautious of the relics you encounter. For within their silent, reflective surfaces, there may lie whispers from the past, waiting to be heard. Those who have dared to look into the haunted mirror have returned with tales that chill the blood. The mirror, an ancient relic, is said to be cursed, holding within it the spirits of those who met untimely and violent ends. Some speak of a feeling of being watched, of an unseen presence lurking just beyond the periphery of their vision. This sensation is often accompanied by whispers, barely audible, as if the spirits trapped within the mirror are trying to communicate. Others describe a sense of overwhelming dread, a primal fear that gripped their hearts and refused to let go. This fear is so intense that it leaves them paralyzed, unable to move or look away from the mirror's haunting reflection. Many have reported seeing fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures or distorted faces staring back at them from the mirror's depths. These apparitions are often described as grotesque and otherworldly, their eyes filled with malice and sorrow. These apparitions, they claim, are often accompanied by an icy chill and a feeling of profound unease. The temperature in the room drops suddenly, and a cold, clammy sensation envelops those who dare to gaze into the mirror. Some have even claimed to have been physically touched or scratched by unseen hands while gazing into the mirror, leaving behind visible marks that defied rational explanation. These encounters often leave the victims in a state of shock, questioning their own sanity. One account tells of a group of friends who, on a dare, decided to spend the night in the attic where the mirror was kept. They were skeptical at first, dismissing the stories as mere superstition. They took turns looking into its depths, laughing nervously at first, but their laughter soon turned to screams of terror. Each one of them saw something different, yet equally horrifying in the mirror. One by one, they claimed to have seen horrifying images in the mirror, visions of their own deaths, grotesque figures with glowing eyes and shadowy hands reaching out to drag them into the glass. The mirror seemed to feed on their fear, growing more sinister with each passing moment. They fled the attic in terror, vowing never to return. The experience left them deeply traumatized, their minds haunted by the nightmarish visions they had witnessed. The experience, they claimed, left them deeply shaken, haunted by the images they had seen and the palpable sense of evil they had encountered in the attic that night. To this day, they refuse to speak of that night, the memory too painful and terrifying to relive. 10 minutes. That's all it was supposed to be. 10 minutes staring into the abyss, challenging the darkness that clung to the haunted mirror like a shroud. 10 minutes to confront the whispers, the legends, the chilling accounts that had sent shivers down my spine and kept me awake at night. The air in the attic was thick with dust and the weight of unseen eyes. The only sound was the frantic thump of my own heart, a drumbeat of anticipation and dread. I stood before the mirror, its tarnished surface reflecting back a distorted image of myself, a stranger on the edge of a terrifying precipice. 10 minutes. It seemed like an eternity and an instant all at once. My breath caught in my throat, and for a moment I hesitated. What would I find in those depths? Would I see my own reflection staring back? Or would something else be there, something dark and hungry, waiting to be seen? Section 6. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and began the countdown. 10, 9, 8. Each number was a whispered prayer, a plea for courage in the face of the unknown. 7, 6, 5. My hand trembled as I reached out to touch the cold, smooth surface of the glass. It was as if an icy hand had gripped my heart, sending a jolt of fear through my veins. 4, 3, 2. I opened my eyes and met my own gaze in the mirror. For a heartbeat, there was nothing but my own reflection staring back, a mirror image of my own fear and determination. And then it began.